Hello.
Hello, Vinu.
Hi, Vinu.
Hi, good morning, all.
Good
Morning.
morning.
Okay, so any doubts before we start? What were we discussing?
Uh, Maybe not at this stage, Vinu, for me.
Okay, let me share my screen. We discussed about kickoff template yesterday. Okay,
Mm.
okay. So there are few more topics which are left to be discussed in the theoretical part. First, we'll discuss them and then we'll move to practical part.
Okay.
Okay, and today's topic would be on Launchpad.
Mm.
There's a portal called Launchpad where we create tickets with SAP for the issues that we get in the instance or provisioning. Okay, so provisioning will not be getting any issues because provisioning is just enabling or disabling the functionalities. But for the instance, when we are doing the configuration, if you come across any issues related to the no configuration or the data issues and you are not sure of no fixing of them, you can create a ticket with SAP and SAP would be providing you the solution.
Mm.
Okay, that's called Launchpad. Now, as the other day we talked about the S-user IDs. When you get certified, you will get a S-user ID, and this S-user ID is to be converted to a partner ID where your partner would be giving you another ID, right? Now, for the
Mm.
Launchpad, your customer would be giving you the S-user ID. Your customer will also give one S-user ID. This is just to create a Launchpad tickets, SAP tickets. So why should we use the customer S-user ID, or can we also use the S-user ID provided by implementation partner? We can use the implementation partner's S-user ID, but this S-user ID is not linked to the instances. Let's say your customer has got 3 instances, dev, quality, and production. Those 3 instances are not mapped to your S-user ID. Those are mapped to this S-user ID. So when you try to create a ticket with SAP, you need to choose in which instance you are getting the error, or you need to give the steps to reproduce the issue. You need to share them the access so that they can log in and check what is the issue. With this S-user ID, you will not be able to give access to the instance, or you will not be able to select the instance IDs. But this S-user IDs will give you the system details. While creating the ticket in the drop down, you will see which instance you are getting that issue. Okay, so when you
Mm.
create a ticket with SAP, before even creating the ticket with SAP, SAP recommends you to search for the existing KBAs. KBA is nothing but the knowledge-based articles. There are some articles already provided by SuccessFactors. Let's say if that issue has occurred earlier and SuccessFactors has already provided the solution. So that knowledge base article will be available in the Launchpad portal, and you need to first check with those KBS. Okay, just type the error that you are getting, and system gives you those knowledge base article related to that error. If that is not resolving your issue, then you will be creating a case with SAP. Again, one more thing is while creating the case, you have option to speak to existing the SAP engineers. Now, if there are any SAP engineers available, you can chat with them before creating the ticket. If that can resolve your issue, that's fine. They'll be creating a ticket and closing the ticket. But if
Mm.
even SAP engineers are not available or they could not provide you the resolution, then they'll be creating the ticket and you can follow up on that ticket. While creating the ticket, again, you can have the priorities like very high priority, medium priority, and low priority. Very high priority meaning if system is down, if production system is down and there is a impact on there is a financial impact for the customer, then it can be treated as very high priority. Now you need to justify that, no, because of this reason we are creating a very high priority ticket, so it has to be resolved immediately. High priority can be like, they can get back to you within a day, but again you will have to provide the business justification why it is to be treated as a high priority. Medium and low, generally medium, they'll be coming back with a resolution, or they'll come back saying that they are looking into the issue. They'll have time till 3 days. And the low priority, like it can be any issue in the development system, or it because of the knowledge gap, or because of you wanted to have some information, you can raise it as a low priority ticket. Okay, so this is your SAP Launchpad. So during the implementation, we always connect with the team for any kind of issues. Let me see if I can log into Launchpad here. Okay, now this is called SAP for me also. This is your Launchpad. Or when you search for any issues in Google also, you'll find some KBS, okay, which will take you to Launchpad only. Error while hiring SuccessFactors. Okay.
So when you like only using the customer user ID, we will be able to log into Launchpad, is it?
You can log into Launchpad using user ID of the customer, or even with the partner ID also.
Okay.
Okay. If you see, this is a knowledge base article which is available with support.sap. This is your KBA number. Okay. Now, if you look at this, what is the symptom? What is causing this issue? Okay. And what is the resolution? You need to follow this step to fix the issue. Okay. And this is SAP for me. This is SAP for me. Again, here you can go and click on services and support, and then you can see all the issues raised. Okay. You have KBase in notes here. Get support case. Okay. View your existing cases. You can create a case using cases and expert chat. This one. Okay. Now, earlier we are using Launchpad. Again, that is now routing to SAP for me. me.sap.com. What's that?
When actually, so when just talking about the KBAs, you mentioned instances, yeah?
Yeah.
So can you give some examples of instances, please,
Instance we talked about it. We already discussed about the instance, development, quality, and production system.
Okay.
These are your instances.
Yeah, okay.
Initially, we discussed that there are two types of systems here, provisioning and instance. Provisioning is something only logged in by certified consultants, and instance, the system which can be accessible by any user.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So that's on your Launchpad. And then next topic is on the provisioning access. Last one. Provisioning access. Now we know that there are two types of systems, instance and provisioning. Okay. Provisioning can only be logged in by certified consultants. That means you need to have a certificate or active certification to log into provisioning account. Okay. Now who gives you the provisioning access? Now provisioning access is generally given by SAP. You need to create a ticket with SAP in HXM Cloud Ops. There is a portal called HXM Cloud Ops. hxmcloudops.successfactors.com. You need to log in here and create a ticket with SAP. Now, before even creating the ticket, we need to get approval from, first step is to get approval from customer. Write an email to customer requesting the provisioning access. Okay. Now your customer would be approving it. Now whoever is now it can be project manager or it can be HR manager or it can be someone from the IT team, IT head. They will be giving you the approval. Okay. That approval email you need to copy and attach it in the request that we are raising in HXM Cloud Ops. Now you log into HXM Cloud Ops. Okay. Go to Customer Instance Access Request form. Call it CAR form. Customer Instance Access Request from customer. Okay. Now you open the card form and then create a ticket with SAP requesting for the provisioning access. You need to provide the details like your data center, the company ID to which you want to have the access. Now, if you have multiple systems like dev, quality, and production. So dev will have the provisioning and instance. Similarly, quality will have provisioning and instance. Production will have provisioning and instance. That means you need to raise 3 different requests to get provisioning accounts of these systems. Okay. And then SAP would be granting the access. Now, while creating the request, system will check whether you have the active certification or not. Okay. So let me give me 1 minute. Let me log into HXM Cloud Ops and show you that.
Okay, thank you. Actually, Venu, I'm not sure like if I can tell or not, but the thing is like it's finding, I'm just finding it hard to ask new questions from here. I'm not getting that many doubts.
Slowly you will
Maybe.
not get many doubts also. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. And have your doubts only to the content what we are discussing. Okay. Not
Yeah.
out of the content, because we have others also who are following and they might get distracted. Okay. Now I've logged into provisioning. Okay, so here you have customer instance access request on the home page itself. You can see customer instance access request. When you click on it, it opens up this one. Okay, so first we have the attachment. We need to add the email approval and then consultant region and consultant location. Okay, in which location are you in? And the customer name. If you are working for a customer, HSBC or PepsiCo, you need give the company name here. Company name with which the SuccessFactors you have registered or you have subscribed with SAP. And then single company ID instance to be mapped. Every system will have a company ID. Dev system will have a company ID, quality will have a company ID, different company ID, production will have a different company ID. So you need to add the company ID. Usually the company IDs would be, let's say if you're working for PepsiCo, it would be like PepsiCo Dev, and then PepsiCo QA, then PepsiCo. This would be your production system. Usually this way. Or it can be a number also. Or it can be combination of number and text. Company name can be, company ID can be anything. This would be decided well when you subscribe with SAP. They'll be giving you the, when they are allocating the when they are allocating the systems, they would be asking you what should be the company IDs. Okay, that actually marketing team or the sales team would be looking after. Okay, you'll need to give the company ID here, data center location and environment. We talked about data centers. We have DC04, DC05, DC50, DC60, and so on, right? So in the drop down, you will see your data center as well. You'll see list of data centers. DC22 Dubai preview and production, Riyadh preview and production, Shanghai preview and production. So you have this data centers. You need to select the data center, either preview or production. Company approver email address, who has approved the request, the email ID, estimated go live date, when are you planning to go live, and is this a new Employee Central project? Yes or no, just yes or no. And then you need to choose the certificate. You'll have to choose the certificate in which you are certified in. So let's say I'm not certified in compensation, but I'm selecting compensation. The system gives me error saying that you are not certified. No, it says you appear not to be certified in THR 86 product. Okay. You need to select the module in which you are certified and then add the certificate URL and submit the request. If this is optional, certificate URL is optional, then submit. Once you submit the request, you would be getting the reply from SAP on your email, okay, in a day or two. Usually they say 2 to 48 hours, okay, but they'll be sending you the information within a day with the access. Now, we have preview data center and production data center. Preview data center and production data center. And one of your system is in preview and two of them are in production. Let's say your production system and your quality system are in production data center. And dev system is in your preview data center. Or if you have any additional system like quality or test system, there's one more system called test or pre-production. So your pre-production can be in either in preview data center or in production data center. This we have already discussed. Okay, let's say your customer is having 4 systems, 2 in preview data center and 2 in production data center. Now you will have total of 4 URLs, 2 URLs for provisioning and 2 URLs for instance. Two URLs for provisioning and 2 URLs for instance. Okay, one for preview provisioning and one for production provisioning. Okay, same here, one for preview instances and one for production instances. When you log into preview provisioning, URL will have you'll see a different URL there. Okay, when you log into preview provisioning, you will see these 2 systems. You'll see 2 company IDs listed there. Company ID 1, company ID 2. You need to choose in which you want to do the configuration after logging into preview provisioning. Same thing, after login to production provisioning, you will see production and quality system, 2 company IDs. You need to select in which you want to do the configuration. This one, this is for provisioning. Whereas for instance, while logging in itself, it will ask you what is the company ID that you want to log in. When you choose the preview URL, it will ask you the company ID. Same thing with the production system. It will ask you the company ID. You need to give the company ID and then log into instance. Okay. Now, if you are working for a customer, multiple customers at a time, we are working for 2 different customers at a time who are in the same region. Now, let's say I'm working for a customer who is in DC. What is this? DC 22, right? 20. You have DC 22, which is Dubai preview. Then DC 22, Dubai production. There are 2 customers in Dubai, and I'm working on both the projects. Customer 1 has got dev, quality, production, and customer 2 has got 4 systems. Okay, 2 different customers with different systems. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because both of these customers are from Dubai, they will have their systems in the same URL, same data center. Because they are in same data center, the URL remains same, but the company ID would be different. You'll see 7 different company IDs here. When you log into provisioning account, first when you log into provisioning account, you will see. Can you go on mute, please? Okay. When you log into preview provisioning, you will see the customer 1. This is, let's say this is your preview. Customer 1 system. Customer 2 has 2 systems. You will see total of 3 company IDs here. When you log into preview provisioning, you will see total of 3 systems, 1, 2, and 3. You'll have to choose in which you want to do the configuration. And for the production provisioning, you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, because all of them are in the same data center. URL remains same. For provisioning, URL remains same. Your ID remains same. Your ID also remains same for preview and production. Okay. And when you log in, for preview, you will see 3 systems, 3 company IDs, and for production, you will see 4 company IDs. And when you log into when you log into instance, okay, you'll input preview URL. It will ask you the company ID. You can choose either this ID, this ID, this ID, or this ID, and it will allow you to log into only that instance. Okay, is that clear? Sonali sir, Raj,
Yes, clear.
Sabarina, Shiva. Okay, this might be a bit confusing, but again, good to know. Okay, so that's fine. Now we are okay with the provisioning side. We know now how to get the provisioning access. Okay, so let's log into provisioning and see what needs to be done. So let me open the latest implementation guide. Should be one latest one. Okay. Let me download it quickly. Products, success factors, implement, tools and assets, explore, Employee Central, implementation administration guides. There implement, you see the Employee Central, implementing Employee Central core. Okay, download this PDF. Okay, let's save it here or here.
Is the same PDF you wanted us to take print out for the
Yes,
certification? Right?
yes. So always use the latest one. Okay, so this is your latest one. Yeah. Okay. This is the version 1H 2024, the current version. Okay.
Okay.
Then open your implementation guide. Okay. Now we are starting with the practical part. Recommended implementation sequence. SuccessFactors is recommending us to follow a particular sequence of implementation. When you do the implementation, at least for the first few steps, follow the same sequence. Okay. Since now this is the first time that you're working on SuccessFactors. Okay. When you start implementing for any customer, try to follow the same sequence. Because I'm in the system from the last 8-9 years, I know what is to be configured, but I still follow the same sequence, at least for the first few steps. And then after 5 steps or 6 steps, I follow my own route. Okay. This is the recommended implementation sequence for partners and consultants. We strongly recommend that you follow this sequence for the first few implementations and discuss any variations with your team lead. To help with your implementation, we recommend following sequence transfer. And remember, as a customer, you don't have access to provisioning. Customers will not have provisioning access. It is the consultants of implementation partner who will have access to provisioning system. And to complete the task in the provisioning, contact your implementation partner. That's why customers cannot do the implementation on their own. They should have the implementation partner, they should have the consultants working with them. So they have to contact implementation partner or accounts executive from SAP. Okay. For any non-implementation task, contact product support. Non-implementation task means anything that is outside the implementation, which can be done in the instance. You can all get in touch with production support. Production support would be again implementation partner. Okay. Now the first step here is step 1, setting up a new account in provisioning. First step is to set up new account in provisioning. We know how to set up the new account in provisioning. You'll have to log into HXM Cloud Apps, create a ticket with SAP. SAP would be granting you the access. Once you get the access, you need to log into provisioning. Okay, let's see what are the steps that we need to do. Okay, I've clicked on configuration task. To get started with the customer implementation, you need to do a number of initial configuration tasks. Before you configure anything in the instance, you have to do a number of initial tasks in provisioning system. Provisioning, you'll have to enable or disable some services. The tasks listed below are minimum required provisioning settings, and you will make further provisioning settings based on customer's requirement as you progress through the implementation. Now SuccessFactors have given some tasks, and these are the basic tasks which are required for every customer. Okay, by default, when you log into provisioning, there are many features which are enabled by default for all the customers. Some basic functionalities are enabled by default for all customers when they subscribe with SAP or SuccessFactors. And additionally, depending on the customer's choice, you may have to enable or disable the functionalities. Okay, let's see some of them. Now you go to setting up the basics. Here is an overview of the basic options that can be selected for Employee Central. First, log into provisioning with your username and password and select the company from the list shown. Why is it saying select the company from the list shown? Because you might have multiple system access. If you have 4 provisioning accounts within preview or within production, if you have 4 systems, it will show company ID 1, company ID 2, company ID 3, company ID 4, and so on. So select the company. And now I want to do in development system. So click on that company's development company ID. Throw the initial letter of the company ID. Okay. Now let me log into provisioning system. So this is my provisioning system. I've logged in here. I can see here one company ID. I can only see here one company ID because I have only one demo instance. I have only one demo instance, so I have only one company ID. And let me click on the company ID here. I've clicked on company. Let me log in again. It's been some time that I've logged in. That's why it logged out. If you keep the system, if you log in and keep the system idle, it will log out after 10 to 15 minutes.
This is the same URL?
Yes, this is one of the URL. Now, if you see here the URL, it would be like salesdemo.successfactors.eu/provisioning. There's a document on the URLs for each region or each data center. You can go through that, okay? Or I'll show you after this.
Where is it?
It is in the drive.
Okay.
Now click on company ID, initial letter of the company. This is my company ID. This is the company ID. Once you click on the company ID, and then next step, select edit company settings and company settings. From edit company settings, select company settings. Here, edit company settings and then company settings. Most of the features, 90% of the features are available in company settings, and you will be enabling or disabling them here. You click on company settings. Okay. And then next, enable the company languages by selecting the checkboxes of relevant language packs, and make sure you select a minimum of 1 language pack. Here, if you scroll down, you will see the languages that SuccessFactors supports. You see here, language packs. Select the language packs and enable all the languages that your customer needs. These are the languages. These are around 30 plus languages which SuccessFactors supports. Select the language that your customer needs. Let's say you are implementing for a customer who are operating from different countries like China, Japan, US, okay, Spain, and France. As your customer has their operations in these countries. Different countries have got different languages, the local language, right? And if your customer want to see the instance in their local language, you will have to enable the language from here. Once you enable the language here, now this is your provisioning. Once you enable the language here, when you log into instance, now you cannot log into instance and provisioning from the same browser. So I've opened it in incognito window or use a different browser. Okay. Now let me go to instance. Now this is a different instance. Now provisioning and instance I don't have in the same. So I've logged into a different instance. That's why the company ID is different here. When you log into instance, you see here everything in English, right? You see home, you click on home, admin center, apprentice management, calibration, and so on. search for actions or people. I see some text here called search for actions or people. I click on here. I can see my name, proxy now settings, admin center, show version information, logout. Gives me the good morning, quick actions, manage my team, clock my team. So everything I see it in English because I have selected my language as English. So I see everything in English. Now, this language is specific to a user. If we have 10,000 users in the organization, each and every user can select their own language. Okay. Now, if I want to switch to a different language, I can go to settings from here. Now you see the profile icon of the employee. Click on the profile icon and settings. You go to change language here. Under settings, you have change language. So I have 4 languages enabled here: English debug, English UK, Arabic, and English US. Let's say I switch my language to Arabic. If I switch my language to Arabic, okay. Now the entire instance is changed to Arabic. Now even the options that you see, logo was earlier here onto the left hand side. Now it is moved to right hand side because Arabic they start from right to left. When they write from right to left. But when we write in English or other languages, we write from left to right. Right? I see this profile icon also changed to right to left hand side. And this was a good morning message what we had. These are the quick actions. This is your quick actions. Because I have changed my language, preferred language, it is now showing the entire instance is showing me in Arabic language. Okay, this is search for actions or people. This is search for actions or people. And when you click on it, you see everything in Arabic now. Okay, I'll go to settings. Earlier we didn't have, at least now we have these icons. Now you cannot have different icons for different languages. That's one good thing. So we can identify with the icons what exactly is that. You go to settings. Now I need to navigate to change languages. I don't know where is it. Okay, either 3rd or 4th, I think. Anybody knows Arabic? Okay, I'll change to English US and this is switch button. Everything is back to English. Now it depends upon the languages that we have selected in provisioning system. Okay, depending on the language that we have selected in the provisioning system will show up all of those languages here. Now, if I have enabled 10 languages from provisioning, I will see 10 languages in instance and users can switch to any one language. At a time, I can use only one language. I can switch to that language. Okay.
Language will be enabled in provisioning by the consultant, correct?
Yes. Provisioning, only consultants can log in.
Exactly.
Now, customer will be giving you a requirement how many languages they want to have. You'll have to enable all of those languages.
End user can also do it from their side.
End users can only switch the language
No, I'm
from instance.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm an end user. I'm working for customer. Okay. Now I'm in a different country. Now I don't want to see the system in English. I want to see the system in Arabic. So I can go switch the language. Okay. Generally Chinese, Japanese, French, Spanish. Okay. They prefer their instance to be in their own language. English is not the common, English is not the local language for these countries. So usually you'll see customers of these regions selecting their own language for the instance. Success for all of these standard fields what SuccessFactors gives, you will find the standard translations. But if you're adding a custom field somewhere, if your customer has given you a new requirement, okay, or they have asked you to add a custom field into one of the existing functionality, then you need to maintain language, you need to maintain the label in all the languages that you support. If you have enabled 4 different languages, then you'll have to manage that label in all the 4 languages. Otherwise, system will show the default label. So you have the default label option and then labels in all the other languages. By default, the text, whatever that you maintain, that is the default label. Any language, if the label is not maintained, they'll see the default label. Let's say I have Chinese and English US. Okay. I've maintained the label, I've created a custom field, and I've given the label of that field in English. When the Chinese employee logs in, they will also see that particular field. Only for that particular field, they'll see the label in English because the label is not maintained in Chinese. Standard product comes up with all the labels, but anything that you're customizing, there also you need to maintain the language, the labels in different languages. I'll show you that when we try to create, I'll show you how to manage those labels in the different languages. Okay, clear with the first part?
Yes.
And it says we need to select minimum of 1 language. Make sure you select a minimum of 1 language. At least 1 language is to be selected. And then we have some checkboxes. Select the Employee Central checkboxes. You need to enable all of these functionalities. They have given some functionalities here. You go here to provisioning system and enable the checkboxes. Search for those and enable. Now, this is compensation related configuration. You enable compensation management. So this will enable compensation module in instance. Okay. Similarly, we also have settings specific to Employee Central. You scroll down, you'll find the Employee Central settings. This is Employee Central, and all of these are Employee Central related settings. You enable or disable the functionalities. There are some settings which are outside Employee Central because these are commonly used for all the modules, like Attachment Manager. Attachment Manager is if you want to attach any kind of documents, let's say while filling the personal information of the employee, I want to upload the proof of the date of birth or proof of the employee's address or proof of the employee. Okay. So you should have option to upload the document or upload the attachment. So you need to enable that attachment manager. Now this attachment manager is used for all the modules, not only in Employee Central. You may have to upload the documents in some other modules also. Okay. Employee profile data audit, this is also to be enabled. Now, when you change some text or some values for the employees, let's say employees in HR department, I have changed it to sales department. Now you can see who has changed the data. So we can audit when was the record created, who has modified it. Even if somebody deletes the record, we can go and see who has deleted the record. What was the data that exists before deleting? We can see that through audits. So if you want to see the audit, you will have to enable employee profile data audit. This is enabled by default. That's why they say here, employee profile data here. Employee profile data audit. Okay. Foundation objects are to be enabled. We discussed about the foundation objects in kickoff. Again, we'll be doing that in the coming sessions also. And enable all of the checkboxes. Okay. All of the checkboxes that are required. By default, SuccessFactors enables all of these checkboxes, most of these checkboxes, and some of them can be enabled depending on customer needs. Examples can be, yesterday we talked about concurrent employment. We talked about time off and time sheets, and we talked about global assignments. Okay. Now you'll find those